It's good to know that when you get a feedback from somebody that you got a greatest gift.
Every feedback is not a gift. If the goal of the criticism is for other person to grow, then we call it constructive. The criticism we should not accept is the one that is not backed up with arguments or that is coming from a person that never gives any positive feedback. The best way to protect ourselves is setting proper boundaries. How the feedback is given is also important. There are people that need to give us a feedback, but they just don't know how to do it and they hurt us. And when we are hurt, we don't listen anymore. In case this kind of criticism is given by your boss, you can't not listen to it, but you can set clear boundaries and keep the self respect that will protect you from being hurt. If this person is always negative, always gives a negative feedback, and is not a leader, does not take responsibility for its action, then it will help you not to take this kind of feedback as a hurtful criticism, or you simply dismiss it. It would be very beneficial to try and find out how other people see this situation, to get a second opinion. You can ask a coworker, a friend, a life coach. If somebody only criticizes us, only giving us negative feedback, never try to understand us, to see our point of view, understand the place we're coming from, we're going to see it as a one-way street. The only way we can protect ourselves in such a situation is to have empathy, to understand that this person is coming from a place where they cannot change. I was listening once when Eckhart Tolle was telling a story about visiting his parents. Eckhart Tolle, one of the most known, greatest spiritual teachers, telling a story about his father asking him, So, are you still in this business of yours? Yes, Eckhart Tolle said. Oh, this mumbo jumbo kind of work. Yes, Eckhart Tolle said. Just saying yes without taking it as a criticism, understanding this that it's coming from his father who simply cannot change. And it is not only saying yes and being hurt inside, it is saying yes and not taking this criticism as a knife that will hurt you, but through empathy, understanding this is my father who cannot change. When you're a parent, the most important thing is to listen to your kids, to know what is important to them and what is not, to acknowledge them so that they know that they exist for us. This is so important. Then they will be ready and able to get our criticism just like we intended, as positive and constructive. Like in NLP, there is no failure, only feedback. There is one more thing that is very important, not only that you understand them and listen to them, it is very important that criticism is not the only thing that they convey to their children. So if they only always criticize them, it will, in a way, wear out. And this kind of feedback will be in vain, although it might have a positive intention. And on the other hand, a parent will not be able to see what is important and what is not important to get their attention to. And on top of this, be careful about how you give this criticism. When criticizing, we have to be kind. And when we receive a feedback, we should use both our ears and listen actively. We should use a thing we call a quality conversation. We should be well prepared for it, and it is the situation we face a couple of times a year when we evaluate our employees. We have to be prepared so we know what is important and what is not. Quality conversation, if it's right, always gives results, but it means that we're using the right words to a right person in the right way, in the right time, at the right place. Look at how many things we have to take into consideration to be prepared and effective. On the other hand, if we feel that this person is not interested in our views, we can hire a neutral person, a life or business coach. We will help this person once the level of trust is gained with the coach, and this is a very important part of coaching process, to be open to see the part of a situation that will enable him or her to grow without being defensive. Once this person is not afraid and not defensive, we will create a real possibility for this person to grow. We will have the right circumstances if we are prepared, and we will do it by being aware of how we feel. It is hard to give a constructive criticism if we do it immediately, when we are upset, when we are hurt, or our breathing is shallow when we are in a negative mood. It's totally different if you're calm, when you see bigger picture and a goal, a possibility for growth for both sides, one that is giving and one that is receiving a constructive criticism.